What is the New English? New English covers a large number of varieties of English which are far from uniform in their characteristic and common use. New English fulfills four criteria, that is, developed through education system, developed in an area where English is not the language spoken by most people. The third one is it used for a range of functions for those who speak or write it region where it used. The last one is it become localized by adopting some language features of its own, such as sounds.
Pronunciation consonant sound. The dental fricative sound, as in the words thin and this, when spoken with a British English received pronunciation accent with the tongue tip vibrating against the upper teeth, are pronounced in various ways by speakers of Englishes. For example, wet is pronounced as vet in Lankan and some Indian Englishes. Voiceless p, t, and k are pronounced at the beginning of words without aspiration by speakers of Indian, Philippine, Malaysian, and other New Englishes. So, they sound to inner circle speakers more like their voice equivalents, b, d, and k. Consonants at the end of words tend to be unreleased and replaced with glottal stops in Englishes such as Ghanaian, West Indian, and colloquial Singaporean. For example, cat can be pronounced as ka with a final glottal stop. Several of New Englishes, including Indian, West African, and Papua New Guinea, use voiceless word final consonant without vibration of the vocal cords, where received pronunciation would have a voice 1. For example, feed meta sounds to an outsider as if they end in the consonant t, that is, feed.
Today I will going to explain how the vowel sound differs to the New Englishes such as Singaporean, Indian, Malaysian, African, and the Caribbean English. First of all, many of these English varieties don't clearly distinguish between long and short one. For example, the seat is the short one, and then seat is the longer one. Another example is the same goes for pool and pool. Next, the long vowel sound in British English, like in the word staff, is often pronounced much shorter, so it can sound more like staff to outsider. Also, they have a short sound, which is the in word matter is often replaced with a full vowel, so the word matter may sound like matter. Also, we have a diphthong.
Today I'll be presenting on the grammar and vocabulary in New Englishes. The term New Englishes refer to varieties of English that developed in post-colonial regions like India, Singapore, Ghana, and Philippines. These varieties share certain features that have been taught through the education system, are used widely for communication, and have become localized by adopting local sounds, grammar, and words. One of the most noticeable differences is grammar. In many New Englishes, plural form, tenses, and pronouns are used differently from British or American English. For instance, in Indian English, nouns are sometimes not marked for plural, like up to 12 years of schooling. In the Philippines, verbs may not change for tenses, like she drank milk. In the Malaysian English, pronoun can be used interchangeably, like my mother, he lived in kampong. Some East African speakers use be plus verb plus ing with stative verb. She is knowing her science very well. And in Singapore or Malaysia, word order changes within noun phrases like 90 over checks. These are not mistakes but an example of how English grammar adapt naturally to new linguistic environment. Vocabulary in New Englishes also reflect to cultural creativity. Speakers often invent new words, borrow local one, or form compounds to describe ideas unique to the culture. For example, the word Hiti from Singapore and Malaysia refer to the food that make the body hot. Spicy in Indian English means spacious. Instilled in Ghana means to install chief, compound word, or also common, like the word bushmeat in West Africa refers to wild game, and chewing stick means a twig used to clean the teeth. Borrowing includes the word chai means tea in East Africa, band for a total strike in India, and bundak for mountain in the Philippines.
Variation in idioms across post-colonial English is a significant area of study. Platt et al. 1984 distinguished between learner and successful attempts to use the idioms of native speakers of English and stabilize new English idioms. For example, gift of gab from Singapore English is gift of the gab in British. This is where the variation from the native speaker version regular on account of pronunciation differences. Some New English idioms are direct translation from indigenous idioms. For example, in Singapore English or Malaysian English, shag leg is a literal translation of Malay idioms goyang kaki, meaning to be idle or to relax. Next, it's involved combined elements from indigenous form. To be in a hot soup from Singapore is a blend of the standard English idioms to be in hot water.